Yeah.
About the voter engagement in these organizations, I'm assuming at the local level. Can you say a little bit more about what's driving that as a strategy now there?
That's always been a part of environmental justice and climate justice. But after 2016, when people saw what happened when in states like Michigan, it's unclear that all the Black votes were ever counted in places like Detroit. And in looking at just how the maps of some of these states lay out, it becomes clear that massive mobilization of communities of color was needed to get those states to flip democratic. So all over the country, it wasn't just like we, the people in Detroit, that was, on the ground, door to door, go in and talk to people, take them to the polls. All of that stuff was being done across the country. We saw it in Chicago, in Georgia, in Alabama, all of these states that at first will look like they don't look like they have that many votes to kind of flip them, or people might look like they're not going to go to the polls. That underground organizing was unbelievable. And people make the connection between your electric bills, your energy bills are higher than any place in the country. Detroit, Flint. Flint pays one of the highest water rates in the country for water that they still cannot drink 5 to 6 years after the crisis. Next, Detroit, very high water rates. Not only that, high water shutoffs.
I saw that when I was there.
Energy shutoffs in these cities. They're not shutting off the corporations. They shut off low-income people, people of color, high bills, high taxes. So communities of color are starting to connect these dots between that and your kids have no playground to play in. Your trash doesn't get picked up. That facility down the road is polluting your air, your water, your land. You have no grocery stores to shop in. And if you read the playbook from Race Forward, they connect all of those pieces and then say, you've got to go out to vote because you're voting. Who you put in office will either change this or you're going to live with this or it's going to get worse.
So the same thing they're finding in Puerto Rico.
Yes, right. It's Puerto Rico,
Everywhere.
Atlanta, it's Alabama. People are looking at Alabama and saying, if we could flip Georgia, you can use a similar kind of logic. The Black Belt, get every conservative, church-going farmer to understand how his or her livelihood on the farm are connected to these bigger pieces and get them to vote along with your suburban ring, your white allies, and the new immigrants. Because a lot of people didn't realize that suburban areas around cities like Atlanta now have influx of Latinx and Asian populations, Arab populations, that if you organize and flip those groups or get them to vote with you the first time, you've changed the dynamics. Michigan is like that, Detroit, Flint, Ann Arbor, Grand Rapids, Ypsilanti. If all of those go Democratic, you win the state.